What's going on, Invest Daily fam, and welcome back.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Right now we're on PokeBeach.com looking at Pokemon Generation 9 Scarlet and Violet EX cards that are coming out very soon. Very excited for all of this, right? A lot of nostalgia coming back. If you're into the 15 era EX series cards, 2003 era, there are so many awesome EX cards out there. And we're also going to talk about that towards the end of the video and tie in older sets. And I think there's going to be a revival of prices. A lot of these cards have already been up in value. And a lot of people, older collectors, have been collecting EX series cards for years because they know there's going to be a time when they explode, and this is a great time to do so as you wrap in and roll in new people into the game with these newer Scarlet and Violet EX cards. People are going to have some nostalgia as they revert back to the older cards and stuff they used to open and collect, and I think that's going to revive a lot of those prices, and we're going to talk about some of those cards later in the video. But first and foremost, we want to talk about the set. We want to talk about what's going on right now and some of the cards that you can expect coming out for Scarlet and Violet. The English set comes out March 31st, 2023. Typically it's in February. It did get pushed back a little bit, but there's been a lot of changes. We already know the gray borders for US print cards. We know that the set symbol is gone, but I love everything that's going on because I love Japanese cards and I'm a Japanese card collector. But the only thing I think that's going to be different, of course, we have to wait and see, is if the quality of the US print cards are going to mimic the Japanese print. And I do not think that they are, right? Because Japanese print is superior, but the look of US cards definitely have stepped their game up, and I really like what they're doing right now. So if you want to see a lot more information on all of this, right, you can go over to Wasi. If you watch him on YouTube, he has some great videos, and he talks about all of the different like US booster pack artworks and everything for Scarlet and Violet. Right here, what we see is Miraidon and Koraidon for EX. We typically know that Japan comes out with two different smaller sets that combine into one massive set to make a US set in America. So that's basically what this is. We have the Japanese Scarlet and the Japanese Violet set. And here are the booster pack artworks right here. So moving on down, it looks like Pokemon is going to continue with the ARs and the SARs. So the special art rares and the art rares, which we really like, right? They first got introduced in V-Star Universe. That set is still very, very hot, and the boxes are still very expensive. Right here, I love what they're doing. So in V-Star Universe, we noticed that a lot of these cards make up one massive piece of artwork, right? And that's really cool, connecting artworks. I love what they're doing. It pretty much tells a story. Just like what you see right here with the ARs, we see Ralts growing up, and then Gardevoir right here having a family and just hanging out. It's really cool. I love how Pokemon is doing this. And then the bottom right, man, it just blew my mind with this Slowpoke right here peeping his head out in the alleyway in Japan somewhere. And I just love how this card looks. I have to buy the boxes just to get this card. This is the one card that when they leaked it, I put it on my Instagram. Very, very excited for this Slowpoke card right here. And then moving on down, this is what we also want to look at, right? We have Scarlet and Violet EX bring back the TCG's original Pokemon EX mechanic, which ran from 2003 to 2007. Pokemon EX evolved from the normal pre-evolutions. This is unlike 2012's Pokemon EX Uppercase, which were always fully evolved basic Pokemon. So what I'm going to talk about right here is the different look of the cards. Like I said, we have the 2003 era, 2015, 2023, all EX series. Now, which one do you think looks the best? The ones that are really going up in value are the very old ones right here, which makes sense, right? They're very old cards. They're not in the best condition. And you have Ampharos EX from 2003 Stage 2. And we know that back then it was cool because Pokemon still had yellow borders. This is when they kind of changed it up right here. They have the little super popping border right here in silver, which looks really good. The card pops. The whole thing is pretty much holofoil. And then moving over to 2015 era, Ampharos EX from 2015 Basic, we have the black border. And these cards also look very, very good, but not that old compared to 2003 era. And then moving over what we see today, we see Ampharos EX from 2023 Stage 2, and we also notice how powerful they have gotten, right? 2003, 150 HP, 170 in 2015, and a whopping 330 HP in 2023. And a lot of things are changing, right? I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all let me know what you think. I think the 2003 looks the best. You cannot beat the holofoil pattern on that 2003 Ampharos. I don't think that 2023 is messing with it. I do love how they have them popping outside of the border, kind of like the Gold Star cards, which looks really cool. I like that. That 3D effect, like it's popping out. And I like the full art effect right here in 2015, but 2003, that holofoil just pops. Now, a lot of people are also talking about this, and I feel like I need to mention it because if you play the game, it is pretty big, right? So the big new mechanic of Scarlet and Violet video games is terastallization, and the TCG Some Pokemon EX will feature a terastal effect box to indicate they're terastallized. Pokemon with this terastal effect don't take damage from attacks when they're on the bench. This is seen on the Arcanine EX below. Its artwork is crystallized to show it's terastallized. It's also wearing a fire-type crown to indicate its Terra type is fire. So we have two terastallized cards right here, and they look amazing, right? Now, I know a lot of people are talking about they're not too happy with this Gyarados as far as playability goes, but the card looks awesome. Gyarados is a loved character in Pokemon, and I really need this card, right? I really need this crystal-looking Gyarados, and it looks really awesome. So moving down, we see some of the artwork. We see the terastallized Gyarados right here. And then, of course, we've already seen the English cards, what they're going to look like with the silver borders. We have Miraidon EX, 230, 220 HP. And then this is what the trainer and the energy cards look like. So that is very, very exciting. Now down to the Japanese cards, this is Scarlet EX. And just giving you a quick rundown close-up of some of these cards so you can go ahead and take a peek. We see the Magikarp and that terastallized Gyarados looking really cool. We see Wiglet, Wugtrio, right? There's a lot of cool stuff in here. So let's go ahead and move down. We see Ralts, Lucario. It's a lot of good stuff in here. Miraidon, Koraidon, all up in here, right? And then we see the Arcanine. But yeah, the cards look really good. I'm loving the artwork. And I think this first set is going to wow a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to be excited. So also, if you want to see the translations for all of these cards and what they do, you can go to pokebeats.com and you can check it out. And each card, it'll give you all of the information, so you can do that. So let's go ahead and transition over to tcgplayer.com. Basically, what I did was look up Pokemon EX. I looked up high to low to see what some of the bangers out there are. Now, all of you pretty much out there already know this, right? We all know that Charizard and Umbreon is going to be very, very pricey. Mewtwo, Lugia, but a lot of these older cards, right? These are the very old ones from Fire Red and Leaf Green, Unseen Forces, Team Rocket Returns, Ancient Origins, stuff like that, Dragon Frontiers. This is where all of the very, very expensive cards are. And these are what I have my eyes set on. Now, I know the newer ones are not that cheap as well. We're talking like Phantom Forces and stuff like that. You have the Dialga full art, right? The silver card. Those are also very pricey. But these right here are very, very expensive. Now, the first one up we have is Fire Red and Leaf Green Charizard Ultra Rare EX right here. And what you notice is that a lot of these cards, you're not going to buy these in very, very good condition, at least from TCG Player. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, right? So right here, we have a damaged holofoil for $170. The price is pretty much stabilized right here. The market price is $775. And of course, I imagine that's for a better conditioned one, but you're not always going to have one on here. So if we look at 20 other listings, damaged, right? Lightly played LP. We have a heavily played for $350. Now moving over, we have heavily played near mint $500, right? Near mint $650. I don't know why they're asking $679 for a lightly played LP, but then we have a near mint for $1,200. So we're talking about $500 to $600 is where it starts for a near mint for this card. Now, let's go ahead and move over to the next one I want to look at really quickly. This is a really hot one right here. The Ultra Rare Umbreon EX number 112 from Unseen Forces. A really good-looking card. And Umbreon, one of the most beloved evolutions, is always going up in value. Right here, we see where it's stabilized. And if for some reason right here, as I'm saying, right, we're going to see a revival, this card is starting to boost up right here and go up in value. So it went from roughly 400 over here, and now it's moving all the way up to about 504. So not that much, but it is starting to see a little bit of an increase. And this card market price is $504.98. So another really good looking card. And I'm not going to show this with every single card that we show you today, but you can see, like I said, you're not going to see a lot of near mint copies. A damaged hollow foil is going to run you about $100 right here, $85 to $130. And let's see if we find any near mint copies. So near mint, $850. Near mint, $429. And right here, you can see a photo of this card. So let me see what this one looks like, because these are definitely some of the cards I'm going to start picking up. You do see a little bit of chipping, but the card does not seem to be in bad condition. You do have some scratches. So it's definitely not going to grade probably even a 9, right? This card's probably going to be an 8 or 7. And they're not cheap. These cards are still very expensive for $500 to $800, especially if you're still going to pull a PSA 7. So let's go ahead and move over. Another card that's very pricey right now is my boy, Ultra Rare Rocket Snorlax EX. Another card I really want. Man, I love Snorlax. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. You got Chubby Boy right here, and you have the purple background. It just looks amazing, right? So $75.25. This card shot up. $277 right here, shot all the way up to $449. And a lot of these cards have stabilized, but they have shot up, right around December. And I think a lot of that has to do, like I said, EX coming back, and a lot of people are starting to hyper-focus on these older EX era cards because a lot of attention is going to surround the EX era. And the card looks really awesome. So let's go ahead and move down to another one. We have the Lugia right here. I'm going to be skipping some of them because there's some that I'm really focused on that I really want. And I've been wanting this Lugia right here from Unseen Forces in my collection for quite a while. A very, very expensive card. So we also seen a spike right here from about $325 to $333. It went up right here, right around November time frame. Also stabilized, or it looks like it might be coming down just a little bit, but not by much. And another really good looking card. So let's go ahead and just name off some of them without actually going in to all the market data right now. So we have the Deoxys right here, ultra rare, a really cool card. Rayquaza always going up in value. Your boy Gengar right here, EX, $56 for the market price. You have your Celebi EX, your Melodic, and then of course you have the banger right here, the Secret Rare Charizard, Mega Charizard EX from Flashfire. So I had to buy this in a PSA 9 myself. The PSA 10 is very, very expensive, but a really nice card. And then you have your Suicune, your Scyther, your Venusaur, your Entei, your Blastoise, Espeon, and another Rayquaza. So many good-looking cards. I promise, do not look up Pokemon EX on TCG Player because there's so many things that are enticing me to watch for now that I want to buy that I just don't have. And now I'm going to have to go for them. So be very cautious with that, right? These cards are very, very expensive. So let's go ahead and transition over to the last thing I want to look at is just sales on eBay. So I looked up Pokemon EX as well. And as we come on down, we see some gold stars. We see a Melodic right here, which is said it sold for $14,999. And this is Melodic EX Hollow, a really nice card, 15 grand. Something doesn't seem right about this, right? We have the Mega Charizard EX Hollow Mint, $11,100. Don't seem right. But we have the Gyarados, the Rayquaza, so we see a lot of gold star action right here. And then moving on down, we see the Charizard EX right here from Fire Red Leaf Green, which we saw right over here, right, the top left card. And this one sold in the PSA 10 for $5,955. So as the first card, if you want to see what is valued at around a PSA 10, which is going to be extremely pricey, is $6,000. Now next up, of course, the next thing we saw was the Umbreon. And then we also see it right here, at best offer accepted at $5,800. And then moving on down, some more Gold Star action, some Charizard. Then moving on down, you also have this 2003 Pokemon Pristine BGS Mew right here, which sold for $5,413. Then we have the 2006 Pokemon EX from Crystal Guardians Charizard, which sold for a best offer of $5,250. And then the card list goes on, right? We see a bunch of Charizards, Gold Stars. People are just popping cards in here also, just mentioning EX so that hopefully they get a sale. But there's a lot of very expensive EX cards in the mix as well. And they are not cheap. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. Look at PSA 10s And I also recommend, if you're going to look at some older cards, look at some population reports to see what they are, because there are some sleepers in there, not really flagship Pokemon, not the most beloved Pokemon, but there are some sleepers in there, probably some smaller Pokemon which have really low pops that people may catch on to later. So learn how to check the population reports on PSA and BGS as well, even CGC. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what y'all think about the new EX era coming out very soon. Let me know what you think about the new cards if you're enjoying it. I appreciate all of you tuning in. I love each and every one of you, and I'll be back soon with another video, and I'll see y'all later. Out.